Campaigning ends today for Zambia's presidential election tomorrow. The fiercely contested battle sees 11 candidates vying to become the country's 6th president. Let's cross over to our SABC contributing editor, Vuyo Mvoko. He's in Zambia, and I know he's going to be joined by a guest to discuss this issue. Morning once again, Vuyo.
Well, thanks very much, Leanne. Indeed, I am joined by a guest who has been here for more than a week, unlike me, who arrived 2 days ago. Miguel de Brito is from the Electoral Institute for Sustainable Democracy in Africa. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Vuyo. Thanks for having me.
Well, your overall observation?
We've been here for a week now. Most of our observers have been deployed for several days now. Most of the reports that the situation is quite calm and peaceful, except for some sporadic and isolated cases of violence, like yesterday in Lusaka. But generally, the situation is quite peaceful.
And the leader, sometimes when the situation gets closer to the actual day, then things start, the wheels start coming off. Is what we saw yesterday, what you saw yesterday, an example of that?
I think it was more like the case of having two rallies of two rival parties very close to each other. Sometimes things get a little bit out of hand, but most candidates have been appealing to their followers to maintain calm, and generally they have been following what their leaders have said. Yeah.
What do you guys look for in an election?
This is a very small process. It was a snap election, so we will not look into many things like we do in other elections, but in this case we look at the nomination process of candidates, access to voters. Voter registration was not updated for this election, so that could be an issue. We look also at the campaign itself, but also the role of the media, the role of the security forces, civil society, and of course most importantly the voting and counting process, and then the tabulation of results.
And so far, so good. In other words, this election gets your nod. Well, up until now.
Yeah, we will issue an assessment statement on the 22nd in the morning. Until then, we'll reserve judgment. We usually like to take a full picture before we issue a public statement. But so far, we have no major concerns.
Among the parties, it happens a lot where you get certain parties having shall we say, rowdy supporters as compared to others, or supporters that tend to get out of hand. Any such experiences here in Zambia?
We think we've seen the sporadic incidents of violence have been spread across the party spectrum. We know that the Electoral Commission was a bit concerned about that, and at a meeting with the main political parties, and after that things really calmed down, which is a good sign. It means that they have a handle on the situation, and hopefully it will remain the same until the results are announced.
Well, often it does happen. People keep their cool until the results. Come the results, then one party or the other refuses to accept the outcome. Any possibility or likelihood of something like that happening here?
Most candidates have declared that they will accept the election results. It's a matter now for the political leaders to tell their supporters to act peacefully, and if they have any grievances, they should follow the legal mechanism established, the courts, to solve their grievances rather than coming on the streets.
Miguel de Brito from ISA, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, Leanne. The question we were talking about earlier, right at the beginning during our first crossing, as to whether the freeness and fairness of this election, whether in fact the parties will accept the outcome. Of course, we hope they'll be as good as their word. From me, it's goodbye for now.